So I guess this is an introduction to why we decided to do a YouTube channel. And, basically I watch a lot of YouTube channels. They help me, fix things I like to do. I'm a DIY guy. I love fixing stuff. I love taking stuff apart that's broken and seeing why it's broken and fixing it and then making it work again. And it's my form of enjoyment. Probably a lot of people, a lot of people I know watch football. I don't watch football, but I'm usually in my shop working on things. And so me and my wife said the idea, why don't you start a channel? You do a lot of that. She kind of watched in the distance of some of my YouTube videos I was watching. And so I decided, why not? Why not give it a shot? And we accumulated one project that was that made me decide, yeah, this is the time to probably get a GoPro and kind of walk through this project with all of you or whoever chooses to. And maybe you'll learn something. Maybe it'll help you out. Maybe you're not going to do what we're going to do, but little parts of what I do can help you out. And maybe I can reference other things. I use a lot of guys that are on YouTube themselves that really help me out. Like this transmission I'm working on right now. I use a transmission bench, and that guy is great at describing, in detail what to do. But now that you're watching that, now you know if you choose to work on a transmission, go to Transmission Bench. The guy is very thorough and very meticulous, and that's what I'm using to rebuild this 46RE, which might be the topic of some of our up-and-coming YouTube videos. But the project that came into, we fell into, happens to do with the boat, the 1978 Carver 3396 Mariner. And the backstory on why that boat's here and why we're working and making videos on it is I was watching YouTube videos, and I kind of binge watch them, and I was watching some of thise guys that do the Great American Loop. And I was, I'm like, that's not that is something I would really like to do. I worked on the river years ago, the Mississippi River, some of the intercoastal riverways, and I loved that job. I mean, and I'm a boat freak. If we get a lot of my side videos, will probably involve marine videos. I am. I like to call this, the nickname of my place up here is the Dry Dock Marina, because we got tons of boats around, and got to drive a ways to get to some water, but not too far. But it's kind of funny. So I was watching this video. I'm like, wow, I would really like to do that, but I don't know if she would like to do that. Living on the Great Loop is the intercoastal waterway, or the intercoastal commercial waterway, and you pleasure boat it 6,000 miles down through the Mississippi, Tom's-Bixby waterway, around Florida or through Florida, up the East Coast, all the way up to, you hug the East Coast, all the way up to New York, come in on the waterways there through the Erie Canal and so forth, and hit the Great Lakes, come down through Chicago, and you're back on the Illinois, which eventually gets you to the Mississippi, and there's your loop. And wow, would I like to do that? Well, I was watching these videos, and I hadn't really said nothing to her, but she was over there doing whatever she's doing, and she's like, that would be really fun to do. When I heard that, I'm like, sold. I'm like, oh, so excited. So, I started investigating it more. And, we're not planning on doing this anytime soon. So, unfortunately, this might be a long series. It'll have plenty of content. And, the reality is we have some dogs that are rather large that we wouldn't be able to do the loop right now at this time in our life anyways. So, at that point we're saying, in about 5 years we'll research, we'll look at boats, we'll look at marinas, Well, lo and behold, a few weeks in, I'm looking, and this boat came up as a really terrific deal. It was under $1,000, and I'm like, and I had researched what people were using on the loop and what people wanted and didn't want, draft depths, heights for bridge clearance. This boat made a lot of those checkoffs. I mean, it's got a very shallow draft. It is very low in the water. It'll clear any bridge. You could probably take this, on the loop. There's certain routes bigger boats can't go. They have to go a different direction. We can pick any direction we want to go with this configuration we have. So when I look at it and go, well, let's just take a day and go look at the boat. And, this is what we'll be doing for the next few years. And when I looked at the boat and, wasn't really serious about it because there was no, we got the 5 years where we're not going to be able to do much of anything. And then we got the, we're just looking, we're just sticking our toes in the water, and, and I talked to the guy, and he was a really nice guy, and I went and looked at the boat, and it was, I knew it was rough by the pictures. I went and looked at it, I'm like, it's not as rough as I thought. And I researched, and I found out about the draft weight, and the height, and that other people were using them, and then it might not be bad to, or at least accumulate and get my, get my working knowledge of working on boats like this, because that's another thing for the channel. There's not a lot of information on the real work of these. People who do this, unlike me and my wife, have a lot of money. We surely don't have a lot of money. This is a real DIY project if we're going to do this. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sweat equity involved. So I figured, well, it might work for that, or maybe we can use it as a building block to a boat we can do this in. And she's still at the 5-year thing, just investigating. But, I'm already thinking of ways to get my hands on the boat. But, it just, the time wasn't right, and I was talking to the guy, and he was a very motivated seller. The boat had to leave where it was at. The yacht club it was at was very sick of the boat because it had deteriorated over the last 6 years to a point where it wasn't seaworthy, and it was basically an eyesore. Take you on a walk around the boat and show you some of the honest attempts of maintaining it, and just, the guy I got it from not having the time to maintain it. I'm not going to say that he couldn't do it if he wanted to. I just don't think he had the time to do it, and the owner before that probably didn't have the knowledge to do it. And the interesting thing about the boat, when I went to the yacht club, I'm like, what do you know about this boat? It's called the Ben Yen. And they go, oh, I remember that boat came into this marina when it was brand new. And come to find out, it was the Commodore of the yacht club's personal boat. So right there, you know. Unfortunately, I start getting a little sentimentally attached. I do to a lot of my projects, you know, kind of like they take on a life of their own. And the long and short of it is the guy was really motivated to get rid of it. He said, you know, Mike, I'll give you the boat. I'll give it to you outright if you just give me a ride in it when you fix it up and get it running. I said, well, I could do that. And, you know, then again, I'm like, boy, do I really need a boat. And I got all these projects around here, as you'll see over time. And, you know, the DIY projects might not necessarily only involve mechanical things. You know, I've been a builder all my life. So we got the boat. We got the boat here with the plans of maybe eventually doing the Great American Loop on it. I think in the 5-year plan, because our beloved pets, you know, we have to, you know, I'm not going to get rid of a pet so I can go through the Great American Loop. I love them guys, but you know, they're not going to be with us forever. That's the reality. It's kind of a morbid whatever, but yeah, I hate to think of that. But you know, then we might be ready to tackle something like this. And this boat here, you know, it'll do it, and we can do it comfortably enough. So we'll go over some videos on maybe what it would be like to restore a basically a 50-year boat, and a little less than 50 years, 1978 boat, and some of the things you go through and how to access different resources for information, because it is. I was researching the transmissions, you know, and if you go online and try and research a 350 turbo transmission, gobs of information, gobs of YouTube's videos, 350 motor, gobs. When you throw the word marine behind it, these are two 350 Crusader V drives, what they call the Velvet drive. I think they're 71C Velvet drives. Information gets real scarce. So if, you know, whether it be right now or years down the road, I can help someone else out with this, it would really, that would make me happy too. So, anyway, stay tuned. See if that interests you. Maybe binge watch them someday when you're stumbling across them. And, you know, help us out, help you out. And we'll go on from there. I'll see you soon. Bye.